Duty Black Ops here and ready to go. We've got the demo all set and go. I got Mark and Adrian here to demo, but before we launch into it, I want to remind you folks, we're taking questions from you live. So if you want to know something about the game, shoot us an email on the spot at GameSpot.com is the address. Now, without further ado, Mark, Adrian, welcome. Call of Duty Black Ops, you're here to show it off. Talk to us, how's the show been so far?
It's been fantastic. It's been great to be able to finally share with everybody what we've been working on for the last year and a half. It seems like the whole time it's been a black operation, the whole development. Everybody's speculating about what we're making, and you know, yesterday being able to open up the Microsoft press conference and being able to share the game was great. And the trailer,
like many bangs, lots of fiery explosions.
Yes, yeah, and you know, doing the trailer with Eminem, the remix there for our trailer was awesome, and it was a nice way to just open up the whole entertainment experience.
Kick it off, absolutely. Now, you guys have brought a demo here. Before we launch into it, talk to us about. Set it up for us. Give us the spiel.
So let's see. This takes place in 1968, and it's in Laos. And this is absolutely a covert, deniable black operation. We're going to drop you in about a third way through the level. And you've probably seen, if you're familiar with any of our trailers, people have seen woods by now. And you're going to play with woods in this level. And we showed a little bit of it at the Microsoft conference. You're going to see more of it here today. We're going to show you more of it here today. So. Yeah, so you're dropped behind enemy lines here. You guys have kind of been through it, and you've come across this Soviet encampment. It's like, what are the Soviets doing in Laos? Well, that's part of our storyline, which we're not going to tell you all about here. But, you know, again, this is about the secret wars, the deniable operations that occurred behind enemy lines, the things that weren't written about in the history books.
Sure, can't write about that.
So, I think one of the things to watch out for is the team. They really wanted to get creative. They wanted to do new things. Black Ops are perfect for that because these guys, they were the best of the best, and they had the ability to take on their missions however they wanted.
Okay.
And so that's the setup. And with that, Riz here is going to take control, and we're going to jump right in for you.
Sounds great. Now remind folks of the character we're going to be working with. Woods?
Woods.
And you are playing as?
You're playing as Mason.
Mason?
Yes.
All right.
And Woods is in the SOG. You're in the CIA.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Little international cooperation. Nice to see.
That's right.
You see that hind? We're gonna take it.
You'll find that Woods doesn't take shit from anybody.
That's kind of the person you need to have on a Black Op, right?
That's right.
Cover me.
I was about to say, I recognize what happens when that gun is slightly tilted.
Oh yeah.
Boom.
There we go. She's taken out some of those Spetsnaz right there. She had the alternative form of ammo there.
Sure.
With China Light Detachment. That's the Commando Pro. You see how it's dressed there? We work with guys from Sacred Sword. These guys are special forces and military, and they help us come up with exactly how these weapons would actually be. Now, of course, we take whatever creative liberties we need to make an awesome entertainment experience, but that is actually how that would be dressed.
You guys going for the authenticity.
Well, I wouldn't say that. So what we do is we do. Yeah, you know what? We do our homework.
Yeah.
That weapon is authentic right there, but we'll take liberties where we need to.
Absolutely.
Russian Hind, you know, some would say by 1968 it hadn't flown yet, but what we learned when we were talking to the Soviet Spetsnaz Special Forces is that you got to think about 5 years behind. Before this stuff got mass produced, this kind of thing would be deployed to these black operations and these Special Forces units, so you might see a Hind.
Might see a Hind, and here you are, just jumping right in.
That's right. So you're flying this helicopter, right? First thing, team wanted to create a controllable helicopter. They wanted to be able to make it just a massive flying piece of destruction here.
And this is not easy flying. I mean, this is a windy canyon. You got RPGs coming at you. You got fire to deal with.
Actually, just for 1 second, Riz, because I know some people have said, "Oh, you're on a rail." I'm just going to take this right here. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to take out some stuff here, just to show you that this is control here. Yeah. And no matter what whether you're whether you're firing your machine guns or you're firing your rockets, different explosions, different effects. The tech team had to do a lot of technology work to get the streaming to work, so we can do these big, open, expansive environments. Our effects team, art team, we added physics, all the destruction, everything you got going on here. She's gonna have to do some battle with another hind here that's come after her. Oh.
Is it still called a dogfight when there's two helicopters going at it? Yeah, you were causing quite a stir here, and so this is all part of the Soviet base that you've come across, yes?
Yeah, so the objective here, it's really important. It's called, I don't think I can even say it on live TV, but we want you to tear it up here.
There you go.
Right, this is called,
Well
the level's called Payback, and there's a good reason for it. This Soviet general that you're on the hunt for, he's done some pretty wicked stuff. And,
does that include all this scorched hillside?
You know, this probably looks like it's been napalmed at one point, or something. Something's definitely had it. So they got. It looks like they have a little bit of a rocket encampment there.
And now you're just doing some light missile dodging. No big deal.
Just a little bit. You definitely want to get hit by one of those things. But you'll notice, no matter what she's hitting, everything has destruction. Depending upon how you hit it, what you hit it, the water effects, the environments. Environment artist did a beautiful job.
You just hit the oil
here.
pipeline there, right?
Yeah.
You got that real black, smoky explosion.
Yeah, and you know when you hit that pipeline, it'll actually explode depending upon how you hit it. So there you go, guys running around the ground. I remember the emails going through. We need more guys on the ground. You know, just like it would be, man. If a hind helicopter's attacking you, people are going to scatter.
People are going to be scattered.
So we had to have that.
And they're also going to splatter, as I was just seeing right there.
They will, yeah. Like I said, everything you hit has a reaction.
Yeah, and this.
Oh, and as you can see, she's starting to take some damage now.
Yeah.
Right? You're used to seeing a lot of damage states in first person when you're carrying a weapon.
Yep.
We had to come up with, of course, a damage state when you're in the helicopter. And being a Call of Duty game, we wanted to keep it cinematic and keep you immersed. And so there's a visual depiction of your damage state right there.
Fire,
She's taking
broken glass.
That's right. You know, there's audio design associated with that. The helicopter starts sounding like it's taken on damage.
There's a lot of cues, you know. You might want to be a little more careful.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So Riz is
really
tearing
probably,
it
up.
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
said.
Riz has probably played the level about 1,000 times. So they're not gonna, you know, nothing's gonna take her out. But
She knows what makes for a good target.
She's a helicopter.
Now
pro.
we've got the Hind here. Can you talk to us about any other vehicles we're going to get to hop in the cockpit, or?
You know, I can't,
Behind
but
the
I
wheel
can
up?
tell you that you know, at Treyarch we have done some different vehicles in the past, and I don't think it's unreasonable to think that we might be introducing some other vehicles. You might see the Hind in some other forms of gameplay.
Oh, other forms of gameplay. Interesting.
We'll see.
The other forms of gameplay, of course, Call of Duty being renowned for, the multiplayer.
I didn't say that. And I can neither confirm nor deny that sort of operation. Yeah.
There you go. I can see you really getting into the spirit of deniable ops.
Are you kidding? It's really great.
Makes a pretty handy
That's right,
deflection.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. You're asked a question. You're like, you know what? I don't think I can either confirm or deny.
That was Laos. That was 1968.
You got it.
Now you showed off some other time periods, other locations in the trailers. Can you give us a quick rundown of some of your favorites, some of your moments?
So what I can tell you is we are crafting a story, and we have characters that are going to they're gonna have an arc over a period of time, and so you know, so people speculated, are we going to Cuba? You know, what about the Bay of Pigs? You know, whatever. But and so I'm not going to reveal all that stuff, but if you pay attention to some of the trailers, you can start to pick out some of the different environments. I think the important thing is you're going to go to different hot spots all over the world, different environments. You can expect different kinds of gameplay, all kinds of weapons, alternative forms of ammo. In this case, you had vehicles. So variety, really focusing on variety. We really wanted to do some new kinds of gameplay for Call of Duty. The core essence there, as you saw when you came to that Soviet encampment, that was a solid engagement, Call of Duty engagement.
Absolutely.
But then we got you in the Hind, which is a totally new experience.
Now, added to that list of stuff you guys are striving for, different modes, different weapons, different experiences, we've got a lot of questions coming in with just one word: zombies.
Well, So here's what I have to say about that. We're not talking about our co-op mode, but I think the thing about zombies is, and that's great that people are asking about it, is frankly, if it wasn't for the community, the mode would not have flourished as our DLC. It's such an important part of our DLC for World at War.
Absolutely.
And what I want to tell all of you guys is that our team spends probably an inordinate amount of time online reading the forums and reading feedback, and I think it's great. We actually continue to develop that DLC based on some feedback. Actually, it was cool because the DLC, we were able to actually work on it while we were getting feedback about the game that we had released or the prior DLC, and we actually responded to that in our DLC. And we know that people love that game mode, and we love it too, and it's a lot of fun. So while I'm not revealing what our co-op game mode is, what I can tell you is that we want to be really responsive, and really we want Call of Duty to have its own Black Ops to have its own fun cooperative gameplay experience.
Sure. Now, I've got some more questions for you because people are ravenous for anything they can get that's Call of Duty. People are sort of asking, World at War, you guys had two distinct sets of, two distinct campaigns, two distinct sets of weapons and stuff like that, and now you're sort of, you're here, you're there, you're taken from the Black Ops sort of sphere of the deniable, What kind of challenges were there in terms of picking what weapons to put in there, balancing those, and giving unique experience within each realm?
Well, what I can say is it's always a challenge. You want to make sure that you're balancing your weapons and that they're fun to play with, but they're not too overpowered, right? That ruins the gameplay experience. But the other thing I can tell you is what was so cool when we started talking to some of these veterans who ran some of these black operations in real life. They got their intelligence. Then they were literally able to go to armories and choose what kind of weapons and ammo that they wanted. Sometimes they'd pack their own ammo. They'd modify weapons. They'd get experimental weapons before they were ever mass produced. They would do all kinds of things, and they'd have ultimate carte blanche authority to get whatever they needed for their missions. So with that mindset, our designers were actually able to, as we were coming up with our mission, say, well, in this kind of mission, this is the kind of loadout that we'd want to have for our missions. Yeah, and you could just imagine, given that they were allowed to, in real life, customize their weaponry and do whatever they want, you can imagine what that meant in the multiplayer side of things.
Sure.
And you're just going to have to imagine it because I'm not going to talk about it today.
You're going to have to imagine the multiplayer side of things. But, in terms of the single player, it's always been sort of, you get this weapon and whatever else you find in the field is fair game. Are you working in any of that? All right, this is your mission. Pick a gun or two. Customize it at the loadout.
We definitely give you weapons at the beginning of missions, and you will find stuff, but it's not always what you think it is. So, for example, whether it's a China Lake attachment on the Commando or an incendiary shotgun shell called a Dragon's Breath. So when you got a shotgun, you're like, okay, so I've got a shotgun, right? I've had shotguns, and we've done shotguns in our Call of Duty games. But we've never done an incendiary shell shotgun. We actually go into some missions. Another mission that you might have seen in the trailer with the crossbow. Well, the alternative form of ammo there is an explosive tip. So, even the weapons that you have aren't always what they seem, and that is actually, while we get creative with that, the inspiration comes from learning that these guys, they could outfit themselves however they wanted and do whatever they wanted with their ammos. And sometimes they pack their own ammo.
And they got creative with it.
They got real creative. They were the best of the best. No one's telling them what to do.
Sure. And then
no one even knew what they were doing.
So that's another question. Did you sort of run up against spots where you wanted some information, you wanted something, some inspiration, but you got the stone wall? You got the that's black markered. That's deniable.
I think the line runs whenever you're doing a game like this. And you are looking at historical stuff. The line always runs when you're talking to a veteran about when things start to get really, personal. And so we're really respectful about that. And I think that's about it. Other than that, these guys, Major John Plaster, Sonny Bazikas, who's our Soviet Spetsnaz advisor, and Major John Plaster, who's our SOG advisor, they were really open. They told us about all kinds of stuff that I think, 5 years ago, probably would not have been declassified, and we probably couldn't have gotten that information. So the real world comes into game development, and the Freedom of Information Act has made it so that they could tell us about all kinds of these, until now, classified operations, and they told us about all kinds of stuff, and that gave us plenty of inspiration to come and get really creative. And that, what I have to say is, that's what Black Ops is all about. Treyarch is being allowed to be just incredibly creative over this, this rich period of history and these Black Ops.
Fantastic. Now, of course, that sounds interesting to me. I'm wondering what you guys read. Is there a Freedom of Information Act extras menu where we can take a look at some dossiers, some mission reports?
That's interesting. I'll take that under consideration for the game. But you know what? You'd be surprised what you can find out there online. Major John Plaster, if you want to look up, he's got his Secret Commandos book, and you can read about it. And there's all kinds of great information out there for those that are willing to look.
Absolutely. Well, Mark, thanks so much for coming on. Adrian, really appreciate you guys having here, showing off that killer demo. Anything else you want to mention about Call of Duty Black Ops before we wrap it up?
Just that Treyarch, we're really excited to bring you guys just this awesome entertainment experience, give you guys that real cinematic thrill ride, that epic experience with the Call of Duty campaign, rich storyline, character. We're working on characters and character development and really going to immerse you in it, and a really robust multiplayer. With we're going to go deep on customization for you guys. We know people want that. They want to be able to have more choice. And so while I'm not talking about that, we are listening to that and just creating a really fun co-op experience so that after a hard day, Riz and I can just go have some fun blasting some enemies.
And isn't that what we all want?
Absolutely.
One more parting shot. Even though we've seen it on billboards the size of buildings around here, the release date for Call of Duty Black Ops?
Oh yeah. So you'll see it on November 9th.
November 9th. Mark, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Adrian. Folks, there's your demo for Call of Duty Black Ops. And we'll be coming up next. We're going to have another look around the show floor, and then it's on.